Welcome, everyone, to a Dose of Wisdom Real Estate podcast, where you can get your daily dose of wisdom on all things real estate related. I am your host, David Stein, and today we have the privilege of having on our show Josh Rubenstein. Josh founded J Builders 20 years ago. He's a successful contractor and real estate developer focused on the New York area. He's also the co-founder of the JCC of Marine Park and JCON Business Conferences. The JCON Business Conference has a real estate conference every summer that is very well attended. Josh, thank you again for coming on the show.
What a pleasure, David. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, sure. So my first question to you is, what motivated you originally to get involved in real estate?
So that's a very good question, and I try, mentoring other companies today because I wish that I had that mentor when I started. And I asked myself the following question: when you look at different industries like marketing, like selling janitorial supplies, how many people in that industry make $1 million a year? What percentage tile do you have to be in that industry to be extremely successful? So if I tell you, let's say dry cleaners, you know that you have to be in the top 3% of the country in order to be wildly successful. Whereas when I mention words like healthcare, real estate, construction, even if you're in the top 50%, you still can make a good living or even better. So I started off in the marketing space, but I migrated in 2003 into the construction/real estate space, because I saw that income is generated in that space and wanted to be part of it.
Okay. Well, that's a great reason. What was a challenging real estate project you were involved in, and how were you able to successfully turn things around?
I guess the first reaction would be in 2008. In 2008, I was in the process of doing a few different developments. And, it's a combination of the banks not wanting to be less rigid, fear, investor syndrome. So, it was a really challenging time, and I had a lot riding. And sometimes even when I saw the crash coming, I couldn't do anything about it because I was already in place and invested in it. So that was probably, one of the most challenging time. And I think in terms of answering your question, thank God I was able to, get out of it. And it was a combination of letting the banks know that you're not running away from them. Sometimes we just have this fear, so we ignore. But coming to that table, trying to work things out. Banks, again, had also not experienced this wave in many years. And they were willing to, forgive part of the loan if you were to purchase it back 70 cents, 60 cents on the dollar. Bringing in other investors to purchase the note and then, complete the project and even purchase it at a discount. So to answer your question, probably 2008 stands out most. And then, speaking to the banks, working with new investors, mitigating that risk, that's probably what taught me a big life lesson going forward from 2008 until today.
Okay. You recently attended the White House Hanukkah event. Can you tell us more about that experience?
Sure. So I've had the honor, people think it's, political and, oh, you went to a Republican, you went to a Democrat. But the way I view it is, first of all, because I'm involved in community and I've had the honor of being involved in helping many people since 2008, actually. And we run about 20 different projects, whether it's through JCC or JCON or New York United Jewish Association. I received an invite through my local congresswoman to attend many years ago, and I've been going for several years. So whether it's been President Obama, President Trump, President Biden, I've been there many times. I love the fact that the White House, which is a national stage, does cater to the Jewish community in terms of doing a White House Hanukkah event, which I think started at George Bush Senior or Junior. I'm saying it started a while back and the tradition is carried. But at the end of the day, even when you have some time with the president to say hello, say a good word, take a photo, it's nice, it's cool. But what I found to be the cool factor was really the people in the room, because they invite roughly 400, 500 people from all over the country. And a lot of those people are, the people in the Jewish community throughout the country who make things happen. And it's a great networking event, if for no other reason. You can always get good food, and they have fantastic food, and they have the beautiful band, and the place looks majestic. But at the end of the day, I love the networking event. So, you just get to meet all the Jewish leaders. Sometimes you'll see Jewish members of Congress, or, I remember seeing Alan Dershowitz one year. I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So you have political, non-political, but mainly Jewish leaders, nonprofits. So I found it to be a great place to network with people. When Trump was in the White House, I met people like Ben Shapiro, and when people were, but you meet great people, and it's just great networking. And being that I'm nonpartisan in that sense, because from a nonprofit perspective, I'm just here to help. I love meeting people on both sides of the aisle, so it works.
Okay.
And I do remember when Trump was the president that I met him after he spoke, and he said, "The Jews love me. I moved the embassy." So he kept on reiterating it.
My next question is, do you have any interesting stories of divine providence or Hashgacha Pratis that you wish to share with the audience?
So I think every day is really Hashgacha Pratis or divine providence. The two things that stand out to me is, first of all, I was asked to come take a look at a job to be a contractor, to put up a new building. And ultimately, just because of, the rapport that we built, I ended up actually being able to purchase it instead of becoming the contractor.
Right.
And because we had such a good rapport, this fellow had another property, which he had first right of refusal, and he offered me the opportunity to purchase and become part of that deal. So that's definitely, you never know when you do the right thing or try to be nice to the right people, and you don't know where things are going to come from. So that was one. I do have another story where I recently put up a medical building, and because somebody who I knew for 20 years, but he didn't, not always do you think of people in every context. And I happened to be friends with him, but not in the context of construction, but because he saw me putting up the building in a neighborhood which I have never been before. It got him thinking, and he happened to have been underwater and needed money. So he sold me the property on the next block, and it was Hashgacha Pratis, first of all, because we would have never done a deal otherwise, but he needed the money, and he happened to have seen me doing the building a block away. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you never know where things are going to come from and what's meant to be, but as long as you believe in Hashgacha Pratis and you're nice to other people, God has his ways of making things come around.
All right. Okay, so what are your thoughts on AI and ChatGPT specifically, and how it will impact the real estate industry?
So it is relatively something new, but I see it's really going strong, even though it's just came out of the gate. I find that there are different sectors using it for different reasons. Now, of course, it's yet to be seen. I think it's a little scary at the same time for what it's doing, and it's scary in terms of the voices that it can change, and the articles that it could write, and the books, and the creating websites, music. So it's overwhelming. But I find that it also is a great tool. I see that realtors are using it, whether it be to market themselves, because it's just a matter of just telling ChatGPT what to do for you, and whether that's market research or create videos, gather photos. It's doing a great job for the realtors, provided that they are using the tool correctly. From an investor's perspective, if you're looking for deals and you just ask for that information to be gathered, let me know in this zip code what's available, or what's available for under $200 a square foot or over 5 acres or in foreclosure, it kind of does that secretarial work for you and gathers all this information. So it can be great for data mining, great for marketing, great for research. And, it could even be great for, do price comparisons, create a proposal, see what properties are available under very specific circumstances. So I think it's something that if used well, it's definitely going to give you that leverage. And like I say, it's exciting while terrifying all at the same time.
Okay. How has the real estate sector evolved since you started 20 years ago?
It's a very good question. I think in 2003, when I started, money was free. There was no concern. No, we haven't lived through 2008 at that point. So you were able to purchase a home to fix and flip. And then a minute later, you were able to leverage a home equity loan to be able to do the renovations. And you were, 125% leveraged. So
Right.
that was, starting in 2003. Obviously, 2008, everything stopped, which was, a huge wealth change. So people who had cash on hand were able to take advantage, but many people suffered. Banks stopped. There was a lot of uncertainty. In 2016 until today, people are concerned, but the market is just going crazy and becoming better and better from 2016 until 2023. So even though people said there was going to be a recession, it's always those circumstances that keep on changing, causing the circumstances not to, whether it be Trump, a good economy, lower interest rates, tax breaks. So it really was deferred. But obviously now in 2023, when the Feds just raised and raised and raised the interest rates, there's no question that, there is definitely a stunt in growth. But I think it's an interesting time where everyone says a recession is coming. Things are slowly slowing down. We know that, with these interest rates and refinance on commercial, it's also not going to be a fun time. But at the moment, I don't see the blood yet, but I do anticipate that whoever has cash is definitely going to be able to capitalize, in the
Right.
near future. And, we'll still see, I guess, how things are going to mature over the next 12 months.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. And hopefully we could have you again sometime.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to be on your podcast. I know you have a great network. And I remember when you were going strong so many years ago. So it's always a pleasure to see you again, be on your podcast, and much continued success to you.
Okay, likewise. All right. Have a good day.
You too.